rather. It's about 5 people every week. We join at least once or twice during the week.
Okay.
We are learning. Like, is there anything in specific you need to know?
No. I just wanted to see that your initiative grows, and one of the aim of Testopper community is we want community members themselves doing stuff among themselves and growing together within the community, right? So I just wanted to make sure that your activity succeeds, and just wanted to kind of understand where we are. That's it.
Okay, sure. So let me give you a summary of what we are doing right now. This Monday, we discussed about AZ900, how we can help each other. So there were a few videos we watched the videos, and we discussed on like the basics on cloud concepts. What is virtualization? What is cloud computing? And different types of computing, about the SaaS and the infrastructure as service. I like those basic stuff. So we are going to break it down the 12 modules. We thought maybe we'll take like about 3 or 4 modules we will learn. And then when we come back on Monday, we are going to discuss about those functionalities maybe, right? Awesome. And then we are all planning to take the exam sometime very soon, the certification.
That is very, very, very important because because the Microsoft, as you know, there's a lot of certificate vouchers that they are providing, and you guys should take advantage of that and try to get the certification.
Yeah, okay. So my message is we are not doing anything new in our group. Our group is only just a complementary group for the Saturdays group. So we learn something on Saturday or on Wednesday. When we gather on Monday, we try to enhance our knowledge in the subject that we learn.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. And I think you are on the right direction from my view and our team's view, right?
Right. We want our objectives to align with your objectives so that, we're on the same track.
Yeah. I mean, you can also come up with new objectives. Nothing, feel free to do that, right? I like to see people started building open source. Like, for example, Sumit is working on to create some base open source with another person called Arjit, right, on test automation, for example. And we want people to start learning them and contribute them and add more features to it and things like that, right? So we want people to start doing open source. We want people to start doing some projects that would benefit all of the community members, right? Or even to run the community in more smoother way.
Sure, right? I agree. I agree with what you're saying. So I have a suggestion. So what I'm thinking is like during test automation, instead of just learning the concepts, if we can have something like a real-time project, even the project that we are building currently for SAD's Python course, we can enhance on it. So I went one step ahead. I have created a GUI and a backend database now. So maybe like if we can create an agile team, a project management team. So we need a project manager, test lead, a developer, a couple of developers who want to be like, if my aspiration is to be a developer, then I can take a developer role here. And then that will complement, I can add that experience to my resume, right? So something like that. Yeah, something to quantify it instead of just learning the course and just going home. We can make it useful.
Exactly. That's the thought process, right? So, in fact, what we wanted to do at some point of time, like, for example, the test automation track is starting from next week, right? And in next to 15 to 1 month, we wanted to create an open source, and then we wanted to see, there's a person named Arjit Saha, and he's already been brought in different types of like Selenium, Postman, Newman, everything, and he wrote some wrapper and he created something, right? So now what we wanted to do is we wanted to kind of open that up and delete unwanted features, add new features, and we wanted people to get engaged on developing that. And so like you mentioned, it will add a lot of value into your resume. And also at some point of time, what we wanted to do is we wanted to create some kind of an ideation session, maybe a small hackathon, right? And for those who are actively attending the Codeathon, we will have a small hackathon session where we will hear different ideas from you guys, and then choose some of the ideas and then form a team and start building a project around that idea that could be useful for everyone.
Yes.
Right? That could also be an open source project, right?
Yes.
So
And
it could
also,
be anything. Yeah.
sorry, I have a couple of more thoughts. So now there are most of us looking for work, right? So maybe we can create an app. So my idea is around interview questions. So there are like, let's say, high profile members in this team, like example, like yourself, you conduct interviews. So maybe we can come up with some questions and answers and feed those details like in voice as voice files or something like that. Blobs, right? You call them blobs, large files. And like someone like me, maybe I can go through those questions, answer them, right? Play it back, something like that. AI
Good
tool.
idea. Good idea. I think you need to. I think Dave is in the call. He is basically leading the program management in Testoper. Devyansh, right? He's in the call today, and he is preparing a program for the community members called Mentor Mentee program. Okay, so we have identified a tool. We would be, we are working on it, but once it is ready, we will announce it. We have identified the tool where we will have a lot of mentors, and then mentees can come and then ask mentors the help that they need, right? It could be one like what you mentioned, like that. So then a lot of things that might come out of that, which could benefit all of us. You see what I mean, Joy? So
Yes.
we need to somehow organize it in a way that it's replicable. We can replicate that to wider community individuals, right? So that's the thought process.
Okay. One more thought, Kader. You know, so how do I phrase this? Look at job descriptions. If you want to be an automation tester, look at a job description. They have different requirements in it. Like you have to be a API tester, SOAP tester. Like someone like me, I have tons of manual testing in different areas, but I don't have automation testing. So I need to look at those job descriptions and see what areas I'm lacking. And maybe we can discuss something like that and then add those to the course content. Even for the automation, like there is SOAP UI, HTML, CSS, and different kinds of like all new technologies or more technical. Like to be a good tester now these days, it's not. You need to be a good technical person.
Correct. You need to be a testoper, in other words.
You need
right?
to be a good technical person, yes.
Yeah, so you would actually appreciate what Sumit is putting together, for the test automation, and of course he needs a lot of help from the community members like you all to join and pitch in some kind of joint training sessions to the other community members and so on, right? But he's starting June 17th, that is starting next week. He has plans to help you guys to understand testing and test automation for next 1 year. He's got plans, right? So you would be really benefit out of that for sure. And what is also important is we need more people into these sessions, right? So you guys need to bring in more people too. You should be talking to your friends and who are the like-minded like you to come and take benefits. That way, we can grow the community as well.
Right.
Okay, so all right, so let's get started. So to start with, let's give a floor to Shad and Sumit to kickstart any Q&As and things like that, and take it from there. Sumit, Shad, please.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, Sumit, you can go ahead.
That's okay. Go ahead, Shad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so I'd like to know everyone's feedback regarding the project. If you were able to complete it, if you weren't able to complete it, especially people who completed it but for some reason couldn't upload it on GitHub, maybe wasn't fully complete. So I'd like to get an idea of how the project went from everyone.
Okay, I'll start. Hi guys, it's Navina.
Hey.
I started working on project only 3 days ago. I was really lazy. But for the previous 3 days, I've been working on it very actively. And I honestly love it because on last Wednesday, When Vikas showed us his project, I was really thrilled to see how he used the database for this current example. And that kind of made me to investigate on my own how to integrate a MySQL database with Python. And I managed to do it. So it was really great. I'm still not completely happy with my project. There is like maybe 10% left, so I can have the MVP that I feel happy about. And I have just got the access to GitHub. Thank you, Shad. And I'm gonna submit my project after that. The only little problem that I have with it is to kind of make loops in the program flow. So after my user does a certain action, like create a task or prints out their task to the console, I would like to kind of give him the option to return to the main menu and then to have all the options available again. So that's the only thing that is being a brain puzzle for me at the moment.
Oh, yeah, if you were able to do 90% of the project in 3 days, that's great in and of itself. And yeah, definitely upload it to GitHub. Even though this session will end, we can keep collaborating on GitHub and reviewing everyone's code and all of that. So that'll definitely still be relevant. In regards to your question, I would suggest looking into some kind of recursion. So maybe there's a function that you're using that displays the main menu. You can actually call that function in another function, right? So you can have a function that's called at the end of a task completion that displays the main menu. So maybe that would be a suggestion. Sumit, do you have any suggestions for the question?
No, I guess everyone did a good job posting their projects. And even if they're not complete, they at least know how to start with the project, run the project, and create it, and how to do it when considering the enterprise project. So that's a good thing. I think everyone is following that. And if you still have questions on the project, you can still post even after this final session. You can still post on the channels, and whenever we are free, we'll get back to those questions and provide feedback on that.
And I think the study group would be a good place, right? To the way that I think is okay. Basic Python programming session is complete. Now, it's possible that you all are learning advanced Python, and you might have some questions. So the study group could be a good place to kind of the channel that we have, right? You can ask questions and answer. And I'm confident that Shad and Sumit will definitely support you guys with that.
Yep.
And I also believe that with the test automation, you will learn more advanced Python, because most of the things are going to be based on Python, right? Sumit, if I'm not wrong.
That's correct. That's it. So you'll actually be working on advanced concepts of Python and implementing whatever you have learned in the beginner's track in the TA track. So that way you'll keep learning and advancing on your Python skills. So if any questions arise, you can still ask that in TA track as well, because we're starting with the Python framework initially in the beginning.
Hi, Sumit. I have a question for you. Last week you suggested, the SQL Alchemy database. So I was able to connect it. I was able to connect it. I'm happy about it. And I was also able to connect the DB browser. It took me a long while. It took me about a week. Today I succeeded. So only question I have is, when you run the session query, what I have is I filter by person name. Person is my model.
Right.
I am not getting a result on it. So I know the table is created and I can see the data. but when I run the query, it doesn't output a value, like it doesn't filter properly. I know it's filtering, but maybe there's another command that I'm missing. That's my gut feeling. And also,
So,
I was
so
also
when
able
you,
to create a
yeah,
UI for this. I was also able to create a UI.
very nice, very nice, very nice.
Yes,
So what
I can
what
share it.
Yeah, sure. So what
Oh,
happens in the beginning for SQL Alchemy, right? So once you query something, it returns the whole data set, right? Even if it filters by person, and then you have to index the record to get the actual value of that person, right? Or you can specify the column value that you need to fetch the result. So you might be fetching the filter results, and the results are coming based
okay.
on the row record count, right? Not just a single column value, it's coming for the whole all the columns, right? And then you need to filter again based on the column saying I need the value from this column.
Okay. I'm going to share my code.
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
see. Are you seeing my screen now? It says result where I'm highlighting. I don't know if I'm not sure if I'm sharing the right screen, because in my case, I had to share screen by screen,
Hmm.
one screen at a time. So are you seeing the result and result equals session query?
Hmm.
Is that what you're seeing?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, okay. So if I run this,
Are you printing it?
yes, I am.
Can I see? Because the process finished and no nothing printed.
Okay, one second. Do you see my UI?
Yep.
Yes, okay. So this is the UI.
Uh, okay.
I didn't code the whole thing because I'm just going step by step. I mean, I have an MVP uploaded to.
Joy, your UI is not visible.
Yeah, your UI is up, so I can see your console still.
Okay, you can see my console. Okay, one second.
I think, Joy, you might have to share your desktop. Then whatever window you open will be visible.
I know I have a problem with my sharing. I don't see, like I can't select. It doesn't say the share is disabled. Okay, now you see my UI, right?
No.
Not yet.
Yeah, now I can see.
Okay, so this is the UI,
Mhm.
and I can click login. But here I have not coded anything yet.
Okay.
So this is the DB. Okay, let me show my DB browser. See, this is the DB browser, and I can run an SQL in the backend now, right? That's how that works. I'm going to stop sharing and share my screen. Okay, so this is my query here. It returns like this with a question mark. I
Just a
guess
second.
it's
Just a second. I cannot see. Wait. Yeah, now I can see.
okay.
Mm.
This is my query, and I print the. So I save the query, right, to a variable, and this is the
Right.
when I print it, it prints it like this with question marks on it.
Where person dot name is equal to. So can I see your filter condition?
Sure. Here it is. Can you see my screen?
So this is what is happening, right? So when you are giving string username, right?
Yes.
It's not getting any value.
Uh-huh.
So
Because it was not giving me any value. Then I thought, oh, maybe I should use string.
right.
Okay.
So do one thing, hard code this first, and then let's see. So the
Okay.
best way to debug this is hard code the query, right? And then you will know that is the issue with the username and password not getting inside, or
I put these print statements here. See, I added these print statements and I can see the value that I input from my UI.
mhm,
It's working. To that effect, it's working. I know that.
right.
Do I
And
need to
let's
give
see,
these
let's
values?
let's
Do I need to?
let's see. Let's run this and see if this is the SQL chemi issue or the value not getting populated issue, right? So
Sure.
we can filter out the issues.
Okay. Do I need to give these values in quotes as it is? Is it fine?
Yes, yeah, a single quote would be.
Single quote. Okay.
Password as well in quote. Yeah, so it's a SQL chemi filter issue. Right?
One second. Sorry. I input a wrong password, so that's my mistake. I'm sorry.
But that's okay. It doesn't matter because you hard coded it anyways, right?
Yeah. Oh, I get what you mean. Okay.
Can you use there is another filter condition called filter underscore by.
Yes. Okay.
Can you use that?
I will try. So, can you see my code here? Still, this
Yep.
is what I see, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So, just give me a few pointers. I think I tried filter by. I googled and I tried to issue that command. Can you give me some other pointers? Because here the username is correct. 123. When I print it, it prints the correct username and password.
Mhm. So rather than mm, session dot query,
Do I
right?
need another command here, like an execute something, or does this execute?
So you can directly use the DB itself rather than using the session.
Yeah,
Use
SQL,
the
right?
use the model directly, right? That will be much more easier. Then you will
This,
know. So
I think I'm using the model here. Person is the model.
yeah, person is the model, right? So but you're
Uh-huh.
running through a session. So but
Okay,
what you can
sure.
do is you can directly the session. Can you remove query from the person?
Like that, I can
No,
just
no,
comment
no, no, no,
person.
no, 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 no,
Okay,
no,
okay,
no, no.
sure. Uh-huh. Okay, remove query from person like that.
Right, right. Remove
So,
this query and just
uh-huh.
keep person.
Okay,
Session dot remove the
yes,
brackets as well.
okay,
Session dot person, right?
sure. Uh-huh.
Right. Can you run now?
Something's going on, but here, some errors here.
Right. So okay, do one thing.
Okay,
Uh, hit the DB directly rather than using session.
okay.
Right. Use
How is,
the
mhm.
DB model.
Okay, can you expand on that a bit, please?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So when you where have you created the model? Have you created this model
Yes. Yeah.
in the Python itself, right?
Yeah. It's right here. So I have 3 files. This is my database, and here's the person.
So your table name is person1. So
Correct.
so you can hit person1 directly rather than hitting the person class.
Yes.
Hit
Yes.
hit the person1 directly and
Okay.
filter on directly on the DB rather
So
than
can I write there's a raw SQL here? Select this
cor-
field where this matches this.
you can, and then you can use the query, right?
Uh-huh.
So the filter condition is only for basically when you hit the DB directly, right?
Okay. Okay.
You can
Okay.
use the same, it should work, it's not working, so we have to do something else, right? So the
Yes.
best way is to remove the session and just hit the DB directly
Uh-huh.
and then filter based on it. I'll
Okay.
send you I'll send you a sample code based on how to hit the DB directly, and then
Sure.
you can
Thank you.
implement it and see if it is working
Thank
or
you. That will help. One more question. So I just want to make sure my idea I'm on the correct right track.
not.
Like I have done some programming long time ago, but nothing like this kind.
Right.
So I have a library here.
hmm
So my plan is to put all my common methods into this library.
Correct.
And then I'm calling these different files
hmm
in my main program, okay?
hmm
Um, so that is one thing that I'm doing. Then the database, all the connections with the database and so on and so forth, it's all in one file.
Right.
And my UI connections,
hmm
it's in one file. So I'm using that as my main program.
Very
Is
nice.
that a good idea? Is that how it's done?
Yes. So at enterprise level, every component is separated out, right? So your
Right,
DB is separated out, your Windows UI is separated out, uh, and your logic is separated out, right? Which is the
right,
common methods. So
right.
this is how it is done. You're on very much on the right track.
Okay,
Uh, the only part is one part, which is the implementation part or the integration part, right? So
right.
that part also needs to be separated out, and then you exactly know where the issues are, right? So it will directly hit that library when you get an error, right? So you
Uh-huh.
know the issue is in the DB, right? You will know
Right.
the issues are somewhere else, right? So
Okay.
when you create a UI part, right, you create the UI part also should be the common elements, right? And then you have a layer on top of it, which is called an abstraction logical layer, which basically integrates all the three components. And then it's become much more simpler for you to have a workflow a structure, and also to debug easily because the error will be thrown out of that library.
Okay. So keep your components separate. Use one code or a file. That will be your logic, right?
Correct.
From the
Correct.
logic. So UI, so this is that. So I think I'm on the right track. So my
Yep.
thought process is, so from my UI, I call the logic calls my UI first. Sorry, yes, UI first, and then I grab the data, then I pass the data to my database,
Yep.
do all my validation, then I send back like a status or return the
Right.
values, and then I do what I need to do in my code.
Correct. So your
Perfect.
UI component should only pass the values. So let's say you are fetching some data. So the data should be come from the DB class, right? But
Right.
how to display the data should be in the Windows class.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sumit. Thanks for your time. Appreciate your time.
Hey, what I'm interested, Sumit and Shad, is to kind of understand how many of the attendees actively participated in the project. Maybe Dave, in your criteria, do you have that information that you would be presenting today?
Yeah, so certainly I have the information. Actively, what I got was only 4 people had completed the project.
Okay.
But we basically have the list of the attendees whom we will be giving the certificate of attendance with the criteria as we decided. Shall we go right now and take the lead, because I need a few minutes for that?
Yeah. Before that, I would like to talk about the survey as well, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Please go ahead, Sumit. Yeah.
So, so guys, I'm going to send a link for a short survey, which is basically not for the session, for the beginners track session, but for the TA track session. So we'd like to get an idea on what you guys are interested in, what you guys want to see as a priority, a list of content that you want to see, and also what tools and frameworks you would like to see. So it's a very short survey. It's a 5-minute survey. I'll send the link right now. And please, uh, please take 5 minutes to complete this. This will help us get a bigger picture on what you guys are really interested in, right? And as Joy and Navina was talking earlier, in terms of what they want to see from the session, you can all enter it here. Uh, there are certain fields that are not mandatory. You can leave them if you don't have any comments or an understanding of what tools and frameworks you want to see first. But if you have, please fill the form. So I've sent the link. Everyone able to see the view the link on message on chat?
Yes.
Yeah. So take 5 minutes and fill this quickly.
Smith, am I allowed to fill, Smith?
Yes, definitely. But most of the things I'm sure you're going to leave blank. If you have any questions on this survey, please feel free to ask. It's a very quick survey, not much, just to get
What
it.
do you mean by data? Is it a web or web testing or what? What is
The
it?
web testing is the UI testing, right? So data is pure data.
Example?
Example. So I'll say. So we let's say we are doing a data migration, right? What are the components that are needed for that particular type of testing? So it's purely relying on the database component, right? Be it Cloud DB, be it Redshift, Snowflake, right? And then how do you test that? Because you cannot test million of rows manually, right? So it has to be in an automated fashion.
Okay, okay. And your survey is does not take 5 minutes, man. It's like a 20-30 second survey.
Yeah, exactly. I get more time if you're thinking thinking on top of your head. If you don't know, if you might take some time, but it's hardly 1 minute survey to fill because you
Yeah.
already know what you want to learn and get
I
out of
like
the.
your survey because you followed the rule of conduct. Creating the survey cannot more than be 10 to 15 questions.
Right.
And also there is one that you skipped, which is the the questions that you would ask user to type and enter, right? The answers. It cannot exceed 20% of the total questions.
No, so I'll tell you. The rest of the things are so what I've kept is out of those description questions, right? So 3 are short descriptions. So I've given a length to that cannot exceed more than 30 or 50 words. So even if
Okay.
you want to type more, you cannot.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Only the open-ended questions are the has full capacity. Otherwise, everything is 30 to 50 words max.
Perfect. Perfect. Guys, please take your time to do this to its fullest. Um, it will really, really, really help.
It will really help us. It will really help you to see what you want from the TA track, right? What you want as a priority in your bucket. And then what type of tools and frameworks you really want to see so that we can include that in the delivery portion.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I've received 11 responses already.
Yeah, I'm sure others are typing in. So how many
Yep.
today attended? Let's check. 26, right? If you leave some of the Testoper administration attendees, you should at least get close to 20.
Yep. Expecting that.
So let me ask this to, I'm going to pick someone here. I'm going to ask Ilan. Ilan, can you hear me? Who completed the survey? Ilan Tawaraja. Can you speak? Ilan? Perfect. You can hear me. I understood you typing, but can you speak? My mic is not working. All right, perfect. Let's go to pick this. Vaishali, can you hear me?
Yes, Kadir.
And you can talk. Awesome. Good, good, good. Your mic is working. I think
Yeah.
Ilan, just to avoid speaking, he said his mic is not working. Is that so, Ilan? No. He's very religious. So he says no, 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 no. Interesting. So Vaishali, I just want to ask you, this is just for my understanding, right? While others are filling in the survey. Have you tried talking about Testoper to your friends and try to, inspire them to come and contribute and learn from this community? What was your experience around that?
I've spoken to one of my friends, Kadir. So she was very much interested and she liked the concept, and she's also joined the group. Her name is Revti. So
Okay.
probably from test automation, she'll join. She'll be joining.
Okay.
And I'll also be telling about this to my other friends.
Okay. This is good. So what was your experience there? Okay, so one example you gave, they really liked and joined, but is there any other examples like have you seen people, oh, I don't have time, have you heard something like that?
Um, some cases, I mean, most of them they show interest, but at the end, like if I don't know if they cannot join, then it's a different thing. But most of them show interest that they would
Okay.
like to join the program.
Okay. See, one of the things that I really wanted people to understand is that, for many years to come, right? It's not going to really help you being a specialist, right? They use a word called as a shallow expert. So what does it actually mean is, first of all, you should be able to do things without any leaders or without anyone, overseeing you, right? That talent you should have, right? In your company, when you're working, you should proactively able to deliver things without anyone overseeing you. And especially when a definition comes called as a shallow expert, it means maybe you are put into some field and that field you are not aware of, but you are able to, pick up and get it running in a very, very short period of time. The faster, the better. So that's what it's called as a shallow expert, because this is what is going to happen because the technology keeps changing and you're not going to be comfortable in one thing, right? If you're going to be comfortable in one thing, it's called as you are a talented person, right? But if you are able to become a shallow expert, right, able to adapt and learn quickly new things and able to even, do miracles on those new things, then you become a creative talent, right? So that's the mission of Testoper, becoming a creative talent. So what we here in Testoper are trying to do is we organize all these different programs. Like for example, Codeathon, you're trained on the coding skills on different things, right? Different topics throughout the year. And then meetup, right? A big picture. And then we are planning for another events, big picture of different technologies that you learn in meetup. The one that's coming up next week, you're going to learn what is cybersecurity, right? Last time you learned what is Industry 4.0, and before you learned blockchain, and so many things that we have done. So, and then hackathons, and then there are other programs that we are planning to do, mentor mentee. So what does that mean is, if you know one thing, you are a talented person. But if you know multiple things, then you become a creative talent, and you can easily be a shallow expert to become successful. And that's what the market needs. Maybe you guys have heard of something like the workforce of the future. Have you guys have heard that? Google it if you don't. Right? I really ask you to go and Google, workforce of the future or future workforce, and read the articles. Okay, and then try to understand what is the expectation of an individual as a workforce that company is looking to recruit in future. That means the companies, futuristic companies who are trying to create a new world, right, which is full of innovations, creativity. In that world, what is the expectation of those companies from an employee that they wanted to recruit is what you will understand. And that's from Testoper point of view, that is what we are trying to achieve. Help you to go through all these different things. That's why I encourage you, when you do a Codeathon, go to Meetup, right? You understand the big picture of other technologies and also other programs. So collectively, you will be ready as a future workforce for then, it's like getting jobs will become easy for you, right? So that's the thought process. Well, I kept my timing as 7:45. That was the time given to Sumit. So Sumit, you got all the response. Can we move on to our next topic today?
Yep. Yep. Just before that, give me 2 minutes. I'll share my screen and I'll share the response results as well.
Please go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
So you guys can share my screen. Can see my screen.
Yes.
So I received 20 responses. Very interesting results. Uh, so the first priority for the topic delivery, most of it has gone to API. So a good part that we are starting with the API. So that's pretty much on target on what we plan to do. Second part, we were not expecting that. It's the data testing. It's 40%. Uh, so we might have to rethink on our second topic deliverable topic. We'll see if we might reshuffle based on these responses. We will conduct one more survey like this after the completion of our first topic so that we get a realistic picture how many people are there and what they want. Some of the tools that people want to see are Selenium, Appium, Postman, automation by DevOps, Python, Selenium with Java, Appium, Rest Assured, Jenkins, Docker, Selenium Grid. Duly noted, we already have plans to include most of them. Uh, whatever, when we say automation by DevOps practice, we will include all the DevOps fundamentals and principles, and we will be doing mostly CI/CD pipeline projects. And then definitely on the practical approaches as well as project. Definitely will take that into.
What is Ranorex? Ranorex? APM
It's a
Ranorex.
it's a paid tool. Ranorex is a paid tool. It's a commercial tool.
Okay.
It's mainly for UI and mobile testing. And then what frameworks you like to see is different from the tool set. So definitely WebDriver IO and Cypress, which is basically a Chromium version. It doesn't run any other browser. And then we have Django. These are mostly Python development frameworks. TestNG definitely. The latest one is 5 that we will see, and then PyTest. Yeah, so most of the things are definitely embedded in our course content. Whatever we're missing, we will see how to embed those. Most preferred language, majority Python, and then some JavaScript. equal to Java. We'll see. We'll start with Python. We will do some JavaScript. Uh, Java is stable for test automation, but it's kind of getting old. But we'll see if we can do a couple of frameworks on Java to make sure that it's included as well. And then these are mostly the concepts that we have embedded in our course content. Definitely, you'll see 90% of this. Uh, so 22. Yeah, a lot of them are not interested in providing training, which is okay. And then we have the topics on what the interest, and then suggestion for the trainers. We'll definitely take that into consideration when we go on week-to-week basis. And we'll definitely have everything that you guys have mentioned covered.
Yeah. So one thing that catches my eye is more of a practical than the theory.
Yes.
We need to, during this Codeathon session also, we need to do that, and we need to start thinking how we can create. Maybe the open source that we talked about could be a real practical sessions for them. I think let's. I mean, of course, I know that you would. Yeah.
Yep. We'll keep that as option, but our most of our delivery is on the practical side of things. Once we are doing more code along rather than teaching the basics, because there are no programming basics that we are going to teach, right? So it's going to start from the practical framework point of view, and then the delivery is as per a project that we implement, right? So the initial components to the end-to-end testing, as well as including in the CI/CD pipeline. So it's more of a practical implementation than the learning concepts, right? The learning concepts will include in the implementation details itself.
Understood. So I had this question, if you are starting with API, I really liked it and I loved it when you said you're starting with API, because as far as I know, as a business person, every technology is moving towards microservices and stuff like that. And API testing is becoming more and more important, and you are starting with API, and also the responses from the audience was for API. I really appreciate that. But the question is, in API, you have lots of tools and also lots of frameworks, right?
Right.
Are you going to, start and then cover all the tools, all the frameworks in API, and then move on to the next topic? Let's say, for example, data testing, or what's your plan?
So the plan is like this, right? So we'll start with, let's say, API. We'll cover one framework for API, and then we move on to the next topic, and we keep this in rotation, right?
Oh, okay.
So what we'll do is we'll keep covering every topic, every cycle. So first, let's say we cover from API standpoint, we cover a framework called Tavern, which is in Python. And once we cover that, we move on to data testing, where we cover PyTest BDD implementation, which is basically on the data side. And then we move on to the Appium side of things on the mobile with Python. And then lastly, we'll move on to the UI, which is basically an abstraction. We'll use a Selenium base as one of the frameworks. So these are the 4 initial frameworks. Once these 4 are completed, we go back again to API, right? And we select another tool or another framework.
I love it. This is really good. So that way they get a complete circle, and this circle keeps on continuing, because
Correct.
As an example, in API you have 5 tools. That means it's going to go through 5 circles, right?
Correct.
This is amazing. I love it. Wonderful plan. Okay, so anything else, Sumit, from your end?
No, that's it.
Perfect. Now let's get into the celebration time, guys. First of all, I'd like to really thank you all. Just a second, right? Just a second, please. All right. First of all, I like to really thank you all for your dedication and the eager to continuously learn, and having participated this session, right? I know that we are here doing it passionately to help you guys, but at the same time, it is also important that you also have the passion to learn, and you have all proved us, worth of what we wanted to really do and help you guys, right? First of all, thanks a lot for joining, and we are very, very happy to continue to engage with you guys, learn continuously, and then grow together continuously, and so on, right? So you will see a lot of things that are going to happen good for us. Unfortunately, COVID came in, which kind of put break in many different things, but doesn't really matter, right? We are continuing this journey, and our goal is to make sure every single one of you are successful as time evolves. Maybe during the initial times, our helping hand may not be enough, other than providing you training and stuff like that, other than providing you with some job opportunities in the job channel that we have identified few people to help. Maybe initially we start with this, but in later on it could be extended to a lot of better things that we can do together. So as a summary, thanks a lot for joining. Today is the day that we mark historic day of completing our first Codeathon program by the first list of attendees, and also those qualified attendees for the certification, right? This is really awesome and the happiest moment for all of us. Having said that, I would like to really invite Dave to share the criteria that we chose for this first Codeathon session, and who are all the selected participants to receive the certificate of attendance, right? Because we cannot issue you the certificate of completion. We have to be a certified authority. There are some people who issue certificate, certification, but that's not the right thing to do. We will issue a certificate of attendance, and you can you have to really continue learning, and you have to get certification from Microsoft, right? Microsoft is being very helpful and supporting to us. If you really wanted to get those certificate, I would recommend you to give exams and get that certificate, which would be very helpful for your career moving forward, right? So having said that, let me give a floor to Dave to take over and share the participants who will get the certificate before end of this week by email. So make sure that you watch the email before end of this week, Sunday. You will have the certificates from us. And only one request I have is, after you getting the certificate, I expect every one of you to go to your LinkedIn, put that certificate, and say that I am proud to, I'm proud to be a test topper, and I'm certified, whatever that you feel like writing. And then please tag a test topper, and please tag me, tag Sumit, tag Shad, tag Hetal, who all helped you guys to achieve this as a trainers. So that would be the gift that you would give us as give to the trainers. Dave, floor to you.
Oh, 1 second, Dev. Can I come and jump in just for 1 minute?
Yes.
So we have a great news on chat. Abdul Subhan got a job. So congratulations, Abdul.
Yeah, from my employer that I got hired. So I'd like to thank Testoper community for their efforts. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Perfect. How I like that employer know that you are from a Testoper community?
I did introduce my interview process. Like I told him that I volunteer for Testoper community. Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect. Congratulations.
Thanks, Kader.
Heartily congratulations, Abdul. Continue supporting us. I know that you have already been helping Sumit to provide this testathon session, right? I mean, the test automation session. Yes. So looking forward to continue to establish our relationship, and all the very best.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thanks, Sumit. Dave, you have been waiting for a long, man. Let's give the floor for him.
Well, congratulations, Abdul.
Thanks, Dave.
Really feel happy and really great to work with you and have you as a part of my team. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Guys, just wanted to introduce and congratulate to all the people, those who have been qualified to get the certificate of attendance from Testoper. We have selected the candidates who are going to receive the certificate based on 3 criteria. Firstly, people.
Are you sharing something, Dave?
Right now, give me a second. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I would just simply just go through the list of the people. First, let me give the criteria back again. So, so the criteria, as we discussed, is going to be the people, those who have attended more than 50% of the sessions, and all the people, those who have attended more than 5 sessions in consecutive manner, or the people, those who have completed the project. Any person who qualifies these 3 criteria would be getting the certificate of attendance from Testopper. We have taken out the names from the past attendance lists. I'm going to go through the name of each person. I would request you to let me know if the name is correct. If you think there is any editing required in the first or last name, as this would be the name printed on your certificate. At some places, 1 or 2 people, I do not have the full name. I would request them if they can let me know the full name. And if you want any changes, feel free to email us. We will put that. I'm not sharing everybody's email IDs over here, but we will be mailing out the certificates to the email IDs you've shared during your sessions. So to start with, as Abdul becomes a lucky charm, he gets the job and he's the first name on the list. So Abdul Subhan, hopefully your name is correct. I'm just going to pause for 2 to 3 seconds after each name, so that if there is any change required and if the person says, please let us know. Abdul Subhan, congratulations. And
Thanks, Dev.
is the name all correct?
Yeah, it's all correct.
Great.
Perfect.
Thank you. Ashfaq Dhala.
Dev, I'm tracking those changes.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Great. So, Elan Tavraja. I think Elan was having challenges in his mic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can type it in the chat if his name is correct.
Yeah, he's saying correct.
Okay, perfect.
Hassan Rasul Naru.
Yeah, the name is fine. Thanks.
Thank you. Hiral Kothari.
Hiral, she was there. Hiral, your name is right. You are on mute, please.
Yeah, she's saying fine.
It
Okay,
is fine.
perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
it is fine.
Jaspreet Saini.
We don't know.
Is she in the call today? Just wait. No, I don't see her in the call
No,
today.
she's not in call today. So yeah.
Okay.
We'll contact her on the email. Joy JJ Christie.
Perfect.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Jonas John.
Yeah, can you make a note those who have not attended?
Yes,
like
I'm tracking further.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Jyoti. Is Jyoti there? Jyoti, I need your last name.
No, I don't see Dev on the attendees.
Okay.
But Dev, as far as I know, Jyoti had mentioned once that she doesn't have a last name. It's just Jyoti.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good now. Kevin Siva.
Yeah, my first name is Tilib, and I just messaged on the site. Not
Okay.
Kevin. Yeah.
Steven Shiva.
Yeah. Tiliban.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there in the chart, so we have taken.
Okay, I copied. I got it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steven. Krishnan Srishti.
Not in call.
Okay. We'll contact him on the email. Miki Kumar.
Nikki. Not in call.
Okay. Mukwij Khan.
Yeah, my name is good. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Thank you. Nadia Bashir.
It's correct, it seems. Go ahead.
Okay. Nagendra. Well, we know his name is correct. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neha Patel.
Yeah, I think she's not in call.
Yeah, but she basically texted me saying that she may not be able to join the call. She got a job in BC and she's moving there.
Okay.
So yeah, but I think her name is right. I'll validate that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Nivena Kukukan.
You can feel free to take off the accent from my last name.
Okay.
Anyhow, it doesn't mean anything in English, so we can skip that accent. Thank you.
Thank you. Tila Sukumar.
Not in call.
Nivedita.
Yes, correct.
Correct. Thank you. Pankaj Siddhapura.
Not in call.
Paramveer Singh Dhala.
Yes, it's fine.
Thank you. Pushp Saini.
Not in call.
Chandraraja Givakumar.
Yes, it's correct. Thanks.
Thank you. Santosh Kakare.
Not in call.
Sarika Vijay Hameen.
Not in call. I think it's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Sri Vidya Subramaniam.
Yeah, it's right.
Vaishali Gurung.
Yeah, it's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vikas Rashikbhai Rathod.
It's correct.
Okay.
Thank you, Vikas.
Thank you.
So, okay, guys.
Just add one question, Dave. I mean, today we have around 28 participants. So whoever are in this call today who have not got certificates, can they identify?
Actually, I was about to say one more thing.
Yeah.
As per the 3 criterias, as I'm going to repeat that back again, anybody who's attended more than 50% of the sessions, anybody who's attended more than 5 consecutive sessions, or anybody who has completed the project. If your name was not on the list, please feel free to let us know. You can speak up right now. We will add the name into the list and we will ensure that you get your certificate as well.
All right. So the reason that I asked that question, Dave, is there is an opportunity for those in the call today whose name is not in the list. If you complete your project and if Shad comes back to us and recommends your name that you have completed your project, we will also issue the certificate. Just keep that in your mind. So don't feel bad your name is not there because you have not been through one of these criteria what Dave explained. You still have a chance to complete the project and get the certification. All right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's correct. As soon as you complete your project, please feel free to email us or connect with us. We will make sure you get your certificate.
Anything else, Dave, from your end?
No, looks like we are complete with the list. Floor is back to you, Kader.
Thank you. So I would like a couple of things to be done right now. The first thing is, this is only for the organizers and trainers. I would like you to, give a nice sounding claps to the trainees for their dedication and the continuous learning, please. Can we start? 1, 2, and 3. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Now, the second thing is, I would like to request the trainees to give a big round of applause, much bigger than the previous one, to those organizers and trainers who really took initiative and made this first coding program successful. It starts 1, 2, and 3. Awesome, awesome. So this is no doubt a bigger achievement and bigger noise from you guys that really makes us very, very happy. Kudos to all the trainers, kudos to all the organizers, kudos to all the attendees. And I wish that you all continue to collaborate in the teams and also continue to collaborate in our future programs. All the very, very best and congratulations. With that, we can close the session.
Thank
I'll leave
you.
the floor for 2-3 minutes and then we can close the session if anyone wants to say anything.
I just want to say something. Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, hi. So first of all, thanks to all the trainers and big thanks to you for initiating this. And I've met you and you're a great person. Why I wanted to talk was because you want us to share it on the LinkedIn. That's a great idea. But this is what I have seen in my organization when they want something to be shared on the LinkedIn in a particular format. So we can add our certificate. But if you, because you're good in writing, if you have some fixed content with a link to Testoper, joining community, and any other content, you can send that format to us so we can add that and we can just add few more lines that we have along with the certificate that we have to post.
Perfect. So we will give you the write-up in the Testoper Codeathon before end of this week, right? I really request you guys to post it towards end of this week and after you get the certificate or early next week. So it will kind of help to boost the registration for Testoper 20, Testoper meetup that's coming up next week, Saturday, right? So Dave, can we take a action point to create a simple write-up, right? 3 or 4 lines and also give a some kind of call for action towards the end in that write-up, requesting people to join the meetup that's happening next week.
Okay.
Right. We can also add for the Testoper automation as well as for the callback action for the meetup.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you could propose something to the audience, that would be good. And if you need some help, we can talk offline.
Yeah, sure. Certainly will take it.
Perfect. Please look that write up in the Testoper Codeathon later this week. Any other questions, suggestion, comments? All right, perfect. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys on the Saturday cloud training at 10:30. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.